Ladies and gentlemen, today we talk about something that touches us all, the tests of life. Those tests that challenge us, stretch us, and sometimes, yes, break us. But what if I told you that every test, every challenge, no matter how hard, is an opportunity to transform, to emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than we ever imagined? First, let's talk about the test of self-worth. We've all been there. The world has a way of trying to tell us who we are, what we're worth, and how we should measure up. But here's the truth: no one, no situation, no comment from anyone else can define your worth unless you allow it. The most important thing you will ever do is believe in yourself. When you do, there's nothing the world can throw at you that will ever make you feel small. Next, there's the test of loss. We've all lost something or someone dear to us. The pain can feel overwhelming, and we might even wonder how we'll survive. But you will. And through that loss, you will learn resilience, the ability to stand strong even when the ground beneath you shifts. And you will see that loss can be a powerful teacher, one that opens new doors and creates space for new beginnings. Then there's the test of failure. Oh yes, failure, the thing we fear the most. But here's the thing: failure is not the end of the road, it's a detour. It's a moment that shows us we're on the right path, teaching us, shaping us, pushing us to be better. When we fail and rise again, we show the world and ourselves that we are capable of greatness. So embrace failure, because on the other side is your true potential waiting to be realized. Moving forward, we face the test of resilience. Life has a way of knocking us down, sometimes over and over again. But what matters is not how many times we fall, but how many times we choose to rise. Resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about being able to bend, to stretch, to endure, and still rise again, even stronger. And then there's the test of patience. We live in a world of instant gratification, where waiting feels like a burden. But true strength comes in the ability to wait, to trust that what's meant for you will come in its own time. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply trust the process, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Next, we have the test of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior, it's about freeing yourself. It's about releasing the weight of anger, resentment, and pain. When you forgive, you break the chains that have been holding you back, and you free your heart to receive peace. And then there's the test of self-compassion. How often do we criticize ourselves, judge ourselves, hold ourselves to impossible standards? You're human, you're allowed to make mistakes. But you must also allow yourself to heal. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would show your best friend. When you do, you open up the space for your own growth, your own healing. And finally, let's remember that every test we face is an opportunity for growth. It's not the trials that break us, but how we respond to them. Life is always testing us, but every time we face a challenge head on, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger, wiser, and more capable than we ever thought. So the next time you face a test, whether it's about your worth, your patience, or your strength, remember this: you have everything you need to pass it. Because you are more than capable. You are more than enough. And through each test, you become the person you are always meant to be. Life, in all its complexities, is a journey filled with tests, some subtle, some overwhelming, and some that seem to hit us when we least expect it. These tests, however, are not simply challenges to be endured. They are moments that shape us, that refine us, and that ultimately reveal our true strength. Whether they come in the form of emotional battles, personal loss, failure, or uncertainty, tests are the crucibles in which we find our most authentic selves. But here's the thing: we often don't understand the power of these tests while we're going through them. It's only in hindsight, when we look back at the path we've traveled, that we realize the profound transformation that occurred. Each test is a moment where we are asked to rise, where we are faced with a decision to stand tall or to crumble. And it is in these very moments that our character is forged. The journey of testing isn't just about what happens to us, but about how we choose to respond to the challenges life places before us. It's easy to wish for an easier path, a smooth ride without obstacles. But without tests, we would never know the depth of our own resilience, the power of our own convictions, or the incredible strength we are capable of summoning when life demands more from us. As we navigate through this journey, it becomes clear that these tests are not random or meaningless. They are purposeful. They force us to face our fears, to question our beliefs, and to discover our true potential. Every trial, every hardship carries with it the seed of growth, even if it's not immediately visible. The truth is, no one gets through life without facing their own set of trials. We all have our moments of doubt, of heartbreak, and of struggle. But what we do in the face of these challenges, how we respond, how we rise, becomes the defining factor of our journey. The beauty of this journey is that no test is permanent. While it may feel like a storm that's never ending, every trial has its end. And when we come out on the other side, we are different. We are wiser, stronger, and better prepared for the next test that life will undoubtedly send our way. The key is to remember that each test is an invitation for growth. And with every challenge, we have the opportunity to emerge as a more powerful version of ourselves. So as we embark on this journey, let's remember that the tests we face are not here to break us, but to build us one challenge at a time. Struggles are an undeniable part of the human experience, and no matter how much we try to avoid or resist them, they will come. It's easy to look around and believe that others have it easier, that they are sailing through life without the weight of hardship bearing down on them. But the truth is, everyone faces struggles, though they may look different on the surface. Whether it's the quiet battles of self-doubt, the loud battles of personal loss, or the unseen wars fought behind closed doors, we all carry a burden of some kind. And while we may not always choose our struggles, we do have a say in how we face them. In a world that often emphasizes perfection and the idea of having it all together, we sometimes forget that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to admit that life is hard. It's okay to feel like you're stumbling, like you don't have the answers, like you might not make it through the storm. In fact, acknowledging our struggles is one of the most powerful things we can do. When we embrace the reality that life can be difficult, we free ourselves from the myth of perfection and the belief that we must have everything figured out all the time. Struggles do not make us weak, they make us human. When we embrace our struggles, we allow ourselves to transform. It's like an athlete training for a race. The pain, the sweat, the exhaustion are all part of the process. They don't signify defeat, they signify progress. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward a stronger version of ourselves. Every moment of difficulty is a chance to show ourselves what we're made of. The struggle might feel overwhelming at times, but it is also the place where we discover what we're capable of. Overwhelming at times, but it is also the place where we discover what we're capable of. In embracing the reality of struggles, we also embrace our imperfections, our vulnerability, and our humanity. We stop pretending that everything is okay when it's not. We stop hiding behind the mask of having it all together and allow ourselves the space to heal, to grieve, to grow. It's through embracing our struggles that we begin to understand that they are not roadblocks, but stepping stones, each one leading us closer to the person we are meant to become. By acknowledging the weight of our burdens, we allow ourselves to walk through them with grace and confidence, knowing that on the other side we are stronger than we ever believed possible. The test of self-worth is one of the most significant challenges we face in life, and it often goes unnoticed, hiding behind the facade of external achievements and validation. This test is not about the outward success we may attain or the accolades we receive from the world. It's about how we see ourselves in the quiet moments when no one else is looking. It's about whether we can stand in our own truth and recognize that we are enough just as we are. The true test of self-worth comes when we begin to untangle ourselves from the need for external approval and find our value from within. It's about recognizing that our worth is inherent, not something we earn or lose based on our achievements. It's understanding that who we are in our most raw and authentic form is enough. We do not need to prove ourselves to anyone or measure up to any standard. We are valuable simply because we exist. Our worth is not defined by our successes or failures, but by our humanity, our capacity to love, and our ability to learn, grow, and evolve. However, facing this test is not easy. It requires us to confront our inner doubts, our insecurities, and the voices in our heads that tell us we're not enough. These voices might come from the past, perhaps from critical parents, teachers, or peers, or they may stem from societal expectations and pressures to conform to a particular image of success or beauty. The test is about silencing these voices and learning to hear our own. It's about choosing to believe that we are worthy of love, success, and happiness, regardless of what anyone else says or does. When we pass the test of self-worth, we free ourselves from the prison of comparison and external judgment. We begin to live for ourselves, not for others' expectations. We learn to celebrate our individuality, our quirks, and our imperfections. In embracing our true worth, we let go of the need to fit into molds that never felt right for us. We accept ourselves fully and love ourselves unconditionally. Passing the test of self-worth also means being able to walk away from situations, relationships, and environments that don't honor our value. It's about saying no to things that drain us, to people who diminish us, and to experiences that don't align with our highest good. When we recognize our worth, we set boundaries that protect our peace and well-being. We stop settling for less than we deserve, and we begin to attract people and opportunities that reflect the love and respect we have for ourselves. The test of loss is one of the most profound and painful experiences we can face in life. It is a test that comes in many forms, whether the loss of a loved one, the end of a meaningful relationship, the loss of a dream or career, or even the feeling of losing a part of ourselves. Loss is universal, and yet it is deeply personal, touching us in ways that are hard to put into words. It's one of those trials that leaves a gaping hole in our hearts, a space that can feel impossible to fill. But loss is also a test of resilience, of our ability to navigate the dark waters of grief and emerge with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Grief is a journey, and it has no set timeline. There is no right way to grieve, no universal formula for how long it will take to heal. Some days the pain may feel all-consuming, as if it will never end. Other days the weight of the loss may feel lighter, only to return unexpectedly. And that's okay. The test of loss is not about moving on or forgetting. It's about learning how to live with the memory, how to honor the absence, and how to integrate the lessons we've learned from what we've lost. It's about accepting that life goes on, but we are forever changed by the love, the experiences, and the connections we have had. In many ways, loss teaches us about the fragility and beauty of life. It forces us to appreciate the moments we have, to cherish the people in our lives, and to be more present in our everyday experiences. When we lose something or someone, we are often reminded of what truly matters. Loss strips away the distractions and the superficial concerns that often cloud our vision, leaving us with a raw understanding of what is truly important. We may find that in the wake of loss, we have a greater sense of gratitude for the things we once took for granted, the simple acts of kindness, the warmth of a hug, the joy of a shared memory. The test of loss also reveals our capacity for love and connection. Even in the absence of what we have lost, we can still carry the love, the lessons, and the memories forward. The love we experience is never truly lost. It transforms and evolves, living on in the stories we tell, the ways we honor those we've lost, and the impact they continue to have on our lives. Loss teaches us that love is not bound by time or space. It transcends physical presence, living on in the ways we carry it with us in our hearts. Ultimately, the test of loss is not about escaping pain or forgetting what we've lost. It's about finding a way to move forward. It's about discovering how to live with the grief, how to rebuild and find meaning in a life that has been altered. As we face the test of loss, we learn that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. We learn that we can endure, that even in the darkest moments, there is light to be found. The test of loss doesn't break us. It teaches us to rebuild, to honor the past, and to keep moving forward with hope, courage, and an open heart. The test of resilience is perhaps one of the most challenging, yet transformative tests we will ever face. It's the ability to keep going, even when the world seems to be falling apart around us. Resilience is not about never falling down. It's about how we rise, how we dust ourselves off, and how we continue moving forward when everything within us says to give up. Life has a way of throwing obstacles our way, setbacks, failures, losses that can make us feel as though we're sinking, as though the weight of it all is too much to bear. But resilience is what enables us to carry on, to push through the pain, and to keep taking those steps forward, no matter how small they may be. When life knocks us down, the test of resilience is not about pretending that we are unaffected or simply bouncing back in an instant. In fact, true resilience acknowledges the pain, the frustration, and the hardship. It gives us permission to grieve, to feel the emotions that come with facing difficult circumstances. Resilience does not mean we suppress our feelings or deny our vulnerability. Rather, it means we allow ourselves to feel everything we need to feel and then choose to move forward with that understanding. It is about accepting that hardship is a part of life and finding the strength within ourselves to endure, even when things feel uncertain or impossible. Resilience is also about adaptability, the ability to bend without breaking. Life rarely unfolds as we expect it to. We may have plans, goals, and dreams, but things don't always go according to those plans. In the face of setbacks, resilience asks us to adapt, to reassess, and to make the best of what we have. It challenges us to pivot, to find new paths forward, and to embrace the unknown with an open heart. Resilient people are not defined by their circumstances, they are defined by how they choose to respond to them. And in those moments of uncertainty, when we are faced with challenges we didn't see coming, resilience is the inner force that empowers us to keep moving forward with hope, even when we don't yet know what lies ahead. The test of resilience also teaches us the importance of patience and persistence. When we are faced with adversity, it can be easy to want quick solutions, immediate results, and a fast end to our struggles. But life's toughest challenges often require time. We may not see the fruits of our labor or the changes we seek right away, and that can be frustrating. But resilience teaches us to trust the process, to keep showing up even when progress feels slow or invisible. It reminds us that the road to healing, success, or recovery is rarely linear, but it is always worth traveling. Even on days when we feel like we're not making progress, we are. Each step, no matter how small, is part of the journey. There is also strength in community when it comes to resilience. While personal strength is crucial, resilience often thrives when we lean on others for support. We were never meant to go through life's trials alone. Whether it's a friend, a family member, a mentor, or a support group, the people we surround ourselves with can help us bounce back from adversity. Resilience doesn't mean we do everything by ourselves. It means we allow others to help us when we need it, and that we recognize the power of collective strength. Ultimately, resilience is not just about surviving tough times, it's about growing through them. It's the ability to learn from our struggles and emerge on the other side with greater wisdom, strength, and compassion. Each challenge we face has the potential to teach us something valuable about who we are, what we're capable of, and what truly matters in life. The test of resilience doesn't just shape our ability to withstand hardship, it shapes our character. It teaches us that we are more powerful than we realize, that we can endure, adapt, and thrive in the face of adversity. In the end, resilience is not a destination, it's a journey. It's about continuously rising no matter how many times we fall, and finding our way no matter how many detours we take. The test of resilience is not something we pass once and never face again. It is a lifelong journey, one that constantly challenges us to dig deeper, to become stronger, and to believe in ourselves even when the road ahead is uncertain. Through resilience, we learn that no matter what happens, we are never truly defeated. We are always capable of rising, of learning, and of becoming better than we were before. The test of resilience is one of life's greatest challenges. It's not about avoiding hardship or escaping pain, but about finding the strength to continue moving forward in the face of adversity. We all face moments where life seems to test our very limits, whether it's through personal loss, unexpected setbacks, or the crushing weight of failure. In these moments, we may feel as though we are on the verge of breaking, but resilience is the internal force that allows us to keep going. It's the quiet courage to keep taking one step after another, even when the way forward is unclear. Resilience isn't built overnight. It's something that develops over time, forged in the fires of struggle and adversity. It's in those moments of hardship that we discover what we are truly capable of. There is a common misconception that resilient people don't feel pain, don't experience fear, or never doubt themselves. But in reality, resilience is about feeling the pain, acknowledging the fear, and yet choosing to continue anyway. It's about learning how to bend without breaking, how to face the storm and still stand tall, even if it means standing a little shakier than before. At its core, resilience is not about denying our emotions or pushing them down. It's about allowing ourselves to feel and process everything that comes with a setback, whether it's sadness, frustration, anger, or disappointment, and then choosing to move forward. This doesn't mean we should ignore the pain or rush through the healing process. On the contrary, resilience allows us to sit with the discomfort, to face it, and then to heal from it. It teaches us that it's okay to not have all the answers immediately, and that growth often comes in the form of patience. The test of resilience is also about adaptability. Life rarely goes as planned, and the challenges we face often force us to shift our perspective and reimagine our path. Whether it's a career setback, a personal loss, or a situation that forces us to change course, resilience is about accepting change and finding a way to thrive within it. It's about pivoting when necessary, trying new approaches, and not being afraid to redefine success when the circumstances change. Resilience teaches us that failure is not the end, but often the beginning of a new opportunity, a new chapter, and a new version of ourselves. In those moments when we feel like giving up, resilience reminds us that we are capable of more than we realize. It's the quiet voice that says, "Keep going, you've made it this far." It's the belief that even when things seem hopeless, there is still hope. When we're in the midst of a challenge, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the weight of it all, but resilience helps us focus on the small steps, the little victories that accumulate and bring us closer to healing. It's about finding strength in those small moments, recognizing that each step forward, no matter how tiny, is a triumph in itself. Resilience also teaches us to be kind to ourselves during times of struggle. Often we expect ourselves to bounce back quickly, to get over things immediately, and to never show signs of weakness. But resilience isn't about rushing through the pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about embracing vulnerability, allowing ourselves to rest, to heal, and to seek help when we need it. It's important to recognize that resilience isn't a sign of never needing others. It's the strength to ask for support when we need it, and to lean on those around us during our toughest times. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is that it strengthens over time. Each time we face a challenge and overcome it, we become more resilient. Each setback is an opportunity to build the mental and emotional muscles necessary to handle even bigger tests in the future. The more we practice resilience, the more natural it becomes. It doesn't mean we won't face difficult moments or feel knocked down by life's trials, but it does mean that we will become more capable of handling whatever comes our way. Over time, we learn to trust ourselves, to believe that no matter how difficult the journey, we can handle it. Through resilience, we also come to understand that life's difficulties are not simply obstacles to be endured, they are lessons to be learned. Every challenge, every hardship carries with it an opportunity for growth. Resilience teaches us that the road to personal strength and wisdom is often paved with moments of struggle. The things we endure shape us, refine us, and make us more compassionate when we're more understanding and more empathetic toward others. We may not always understand the reasons behind our struggles, but through resilience, we can find meaning in them and use those experiences to help others who are going through similar trials. Ultimately, the test of resilience is about learning to trust in ourselves. It's about understanding that no matter how dark the moment may seem, we have the strength to rise again. It's the belief that every setback is temporary and that we have the capacity to bounce back, to rebuild, and to move forward. Resilience doesn't eliminate pain or difficulty. It teaches us how to navigate them, how to grow through them, and how to become better, stronger, and more grounded because of them. It reminds us that we are far more capable than we often give ourselves credit for, and that no matter how hard the test, we can find a way through. The test of patience is one of the most difficult challenges we face in life. In a world where instant gratification has become the norm, where everything is expected to happen quickly and effortlessly, learning to be patient feels like a foreign concept. We live in a time when we are constantly connected, constantly moving, and constantly chasing the next thing. This creates a sense of urgency in everything we do, making it hard to sit still, wait, or let things unfold in their own time. Yet patience is a skill that holds the power to transform our lives, and its true test often comes when we are forced to slow down, to wait for something we can't control, or to endure a process that seems to be taking far longer than we expected. Patience is not merely the act of waiting, it is how we handle the waiting. It's about how we maintain our calm, how we preserve our peace of mind, and how we hold on to hope during the times when progress feels slow or when our efforts don't seem to bear fruit. Patience is tested when we are faced with situations that require us to stretch beyond our limits, when we must endure uncertainty or adversity. It's easy to be patient when things are going smoothly, but true patience emerges when we are up against challenges, when things aren't happening as quickly as we would like, or when we face obstacles that seem insurmountable. In those moments of waiting, we are often confronted with feelings of frustration and doubt. We might ask ourselves, why isn't this happening now? Or why does it feel like nothing is moving forward? These are the moments that test our ability to trust the process. When we feel like we're putting in the work and not seeing results, it can be easy to give up, to lose faith, or to convince ourselves that it's not worth it. But patience asks us to keep going, even when we can't see immediate results. It asks us to trust that things are unfolding in the right way and at the right time, even when the timeline doesn't match our expectations. One of the most powerful lessons in patience is learning to live in the present moment. We spend so much of our time focused on the future, on what we want or need to happen next, that we often miss the beauty and the value of the moment we're in right now. Patience invites us to embrace the journey rather than obsess over the destination. It encourages us to be present with what is happening today, to find meaning and purpose in the process rather than rushing to the end result. In those quiet, patient moments, we often discover things we never would have noticed if we had been too focused on the outcome. We learn to appreciate the small steps, the progress made day by day, even when it feels insignificant. In many ways, patience is a test of faith in ourselves, a faith in the journey, and a faith that things will work out in the end. It's about trusting that there is a bigger picture, even when we can't see it yet. Patience requires us to trust in the process, to believe that the effort we put in will pay off, even if it takes time. It teaches us that success and growth are not always linear, and that sometimes the most important lessons come from the waiting itself. The test of patience may not be one we ever fully pass. Life's challenges, desires, and dreams will continue to test our patience at every turn, pushing us to grow stronger in this area. But in facing this test, we come to understand that patience is not about passively waiting for things to happen. It's about actively choosing to trust, to remain steadfast, and to continue putting in the effort, no matter how long it takes. When we pass the test of patience, we discover that waiting is not a punishment, it is an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for embracing the beauty of the journey itself. There is also a deep spiritual aspect to forgiveness. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of forgiveness, not just for the sake of the one who has wronged us, but for our own growth and peace. Forgiveness connects us to a higher sense of compassion, grace, and love. It is an act that transcends our individual pain and taps into a collective human experience of healing. When we forgive, we align ourselves with a deeper sense of understanding and humanity. Forgiveness teaches us that love is not limited by the actions of others, and that even in the face of wrongdoing, we can choose to respond with kindness and understanding. It allows us to heal not only ourselves, but to contribute to healing the world around us. Ultimately, the test of forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of self-liberation we can undertake. It is a choice that, while difficult, offers us the freedom to move forward, to reclaim our peace, and to heal the wounds of the past. Forgiveness does not erase the hurt, but it allows us to let go of the bitterness that holds us back. It gives us the power to release what no longer serves us and to make room for healing, growth, and love. When we forgive, we don't only transform our relationship with others, we transform ourselves, our hearts, and our ability to experience peace. Through forgiveness, we learn that the key to healing is not in holding on to anger, but in choosing to let go, in choosing to let go, in choosing to be free. The test of self-compassion is one of the most challenging yet crucial aspects of personal growth and emotional well-being. In a world that often places high demands on perfection and success, being kind to ourselves can feel foreign, even uncomfortable. We are constantly encouraged to push harder, do better, and achieve more, often at the cost of our own well-being. The test of self-compassion asks us to step back from this cycle of self-criticism and external validation and instead embrace ourselves with the same understanding, patience, and care that we would offer a friend in need. It's about giving ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to fall short without allowing those moments to define our worth. At its core, self-compassion involves treating ourselves with kindness, especially during times of failure, difficulty, or suffering. It's easy to extend compassion to others when they're struggling, offering words of encouragement or a helping hand, but when we find ourselves in similar situations, we often become our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for not being good enough, for making mistakes, or for not meeting the high standards we've set. This inner dialogue can be incredibly damaging, and it prevents us from healing, growing, and moving forward. The test of self-compassion challenges us to break this cycle by recognizing that we too deserve kindness and understanding, particularly during our lowest points. When we fail or face setbacks, it is all too easy to internalize those experiences as evidence of our inadequacy. We may believe that our worth is tied to our accomplishments or the approval of others, and when we fall short of those expectations, we feel unworthy or flawed. Self-compassion, however, invites us to shift this perspective. It reminds us that being human means being imperfect, and it is precisely through our imperfections that we grow and learn. Rather than condemning ourselves for our shortcomings, self-compassion encourages us to approach ourselves with understanding, recognizing that our mistakes do not diminish our value. This shift in mindset allows us to embrace our humanity with grace and self-acceptance, freeing us from the burden of unrealistic expectations and self-judgment. The test of self-compassion also involves embracing vulnerability. It requires us to acknowledge our pain, our fears, and our struggles rather than denying or suppressing them. When we experience emotional pain, whether from a loss, a failure, or a difficult life circumstance, our natural inclination is often to shield ourselves from the hurt. We may try to distract ourselves, numb the pain, or push it aside. But true self-compassion asks us to sit with our emotions, to face them without judgment or avoidance. It asks us to acknowledge the hurt, to be gentle with ourselves in those moments of vulnerability, and to trust that we can heal. Just as we would offer comfort and care to a friend who is hurting, we are called to offer that same support to ourselves. Another crucial element of self-compassion is forgiveness. We often hold on to past mistakes, regrets, and feelings of guilt, believing that we must punish ourselves for our perceived failures. This self-punishment only perpetuates feelings of unworthiness and shame, making it harder for us to heal and move forward. The test of self-compassion asks us to forgive ourselves for the mistakes we've made, understanding that we did the best we could with the knowledge and resources we had at the time. Self-forgiveness is not about excusing harmful actions or ignoring the consequences of our choices. It is about releasing ourselves from the burden of guilt and recognizing that we are deserving of love and compassion, regardless of our past. It is an act of self-liberation, allowing us to embrace the present and future with renewed hope and possibility. The test of self-compassion also teaches us the importance of patience. It's easy to want to fix everything immediately, to find quick solutions to our problems, and to expect instant results. But personal growth, healing, and change take time. Self-compassion asks us to be patient with ourselves, to acknowledge that progress may be slow and nonlinear, and to accept that setbacks are a natural part of the process. It encourages us to celebrate small victories and to honor the journey, rather than focusing solely on the destination. By practicing patience with ourselves, we cultivate a sense of peace and resilience, knowing that we are worthy of the time and care it takes to heal and grow. Ultimately, the test of self-compassion is about learning to be our own best friend. It is about standing by ourselves in times of struggle, offering words of encouragement when we feel defeated, and offering kindness when we feel vulnerable. It's about letting go of the unrealistic standards we've set for ourselves and embracing the reality that we are enough just as we are. The test of self-compassion challenges us to shift our internal dialogue from one of self-criticism to one of self-acceptance. It invites us to stop seeking validation from external sources and to start finding that validation within ourselves. By passing this test, we not only learn to love ourselves more deeply, but we also create the emotional foundation from which we can live more fully, more authentically, and with greater peace. The power of passing these tests lies in the profound transformation that occurs when we face life's challenges with resilience, courage, and self-awareness. Each test, whether it be the test of patience, forgiveness, self-compassion, or any of the other trials we encounter, offers an opportunity for growth, healing, and greater understanding of who we are. As we navigate these challenges and emerge stronger on the other side, we discover the power within ourselves to overcome adversity, to adapt to change, and to shape the future we desire. The act of passing these tests is not about achieving perfection or avoiding failure. It is about embracing the process of growth and learning and realizing that the journey itself holds the most valuable lessons. When we pass a test of patience, for example, we gain the ability to trust the process of life, even when things seem uncertain or slow. We learn to see the bigger picture, recognizing that some things take time and that waiting can be a source of wisdom and strength. This patience becomes a powerful tool, allowing us to navigate future challenges with calm and clarity. We realize that just as we have survived difficult times before, we can continue to do so, trusting that each step, no matter how slow, is leading us closer to where we are meant to be. Similarly, the power of forgiveness lies in its ability to free us from the chains of resentment and anger that can otherwise consume our hearts. When we forgive, we release ourselves from the emotional grip of the past and we take back the power to live in the present. Forgiveness doesn't mean we forget or condone the wrongs done to us, but it means we choose to let go of the negative emotions that hold us back. This liberation is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves because it opens the door to healing, peace, and emotional freedom. It allows us to create space for joy, love, and growth without the weight of bitterness weighing us down. Self-compassion, too, holds immense power. By learning to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during times of struggle, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-worth that cannot be easily shaken. We stop seeking validation from external sources and begin to value ourselves for who we truly are, not for what we accomplish or how others perceive us. The power of self-compassion lies in its ability to help us break free from the cycles of self-criticism and perfectionism, which often keep us trapped in feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. When we embrace ourselves with compassion, we unlock the potential for deep healing, personal growth, and emotional resilience. The power of passing these tests is also reflected in the deep sense of inner strength we develop over time. Life is constantly presenting us with challenges, and while we may not be able to control the circumstances, we can control how we respond. When we learn to face adversity with a mindset rooted in patience, forgiveness, and self-compassion, we become more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. We stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable roadblocks and start viewing them as opportunities for growth. The tests we face become stepping stones on our journey, each one strengthening our resolve and expanding our capacity to handle even greater challenges in the future. Moreover, the power of passing these tests lies in the sense of peace and fulfillment we experience as a result. When we are able to forgive others, we free ourselves from the burden of carrying negative emotions. When we practice patience, we allow life to unfold at its own pace, without the stress of rushing. When we show ourselves compassion, we give ourselves permission to rest, to heal, and to move forward without the pressure of perfection. Each of these actions contributes to a greater sense of emotional well-being and contentment because we stop fighting against ourselves and the world around us. Instead, we begin to align with the flow of life, accepting both the challenges and the blessings that come our way with grace and equanimity. Passing these tests also fosters deeper connections with others. When we embrace patience, forgiveness, and self-compassion, we naturally become more understanding and empathetic toward others. We begin to see that everyone is fighting their own battles, and we approach others with kindness and a willingness to offer support. By passing these tests, we develop stronger, more meaningful relationships because we are able to communicate openly, forgive easily, and offer compassion without hesitation. These qualities not only improve our relationships with others, but they also enhance our ability to be present and supportive, creating a positive ripple effect in the world around us. The power of passing these tests also lies in the self-discovery that comes with them. Every challenge we face offers us the chance to learn more about ourselves, to uncover our strengths, our fears, and our values. By passing the tests that life throws our way, we gain a deeper understanding of who we are and what we are capable of. We discover parts of ourselves that we may not have known existed and learn how to tap into resources of inner strength and wisdom that we never thought we had. This self-awareness becomes a powerful tool, allowing us to make better decisions, set clearer goals, and live more authentically. Ultimately, the power of passing these tests is about transformation. It is about moving from a place of uncertainty, fear, and self-doubt to a place of confidence, peace, and self-empowerment. It is about realizing that we are not defined by the challenges we face, but by how we choose to respond to them. Every test, every trial, every moment of struggle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of ourselves. The power lies not in avoiding the tests, but in rising to meet them and facing them with grace, strength, and the knowledge that no matter what, we have the power to overcome. When we pass these tests, we emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable of living a life that is true to who we are.